All right, we are back. Collector Showcase with Josh, Cardboard Chronicles. Figured it'd be fun to dig in and talk about LeBron, his collection of LeBron, and everything in between. I wanted to maybe start here where maybe in your early days of collecting LeBron or getting back into the hobby and starting to collect LeBron. Um, Maybe talk a little bit about the why you zeroed in on LeBron, and then also like I think with these players that are at the top tier, the mountaintop of magnitude, it can be like really overwhelming for new collectors to want to come in and purchase their cards because they're more expensive than anyone else. So maybe talk about like I know the prices were probably a lot cheaper than they are
Yeah.
today, but talk about how you overcame some of that to get started.
Yeah, so that's going back to about 2016 when I joined. LeBron's been my favorite player since his rookie year. I've just been fascinated with his rise so quickly from such a young age, and his style of play, his sort of pass first mentality. I've always admired his style of play. Coming off of like the early 2000s where it's like very ISO centric and Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant type play, and LeBron just he kind of stood out to me as this unique player. And he also had the gifts of being one of the best high flying dunkers of all time. He just kind of had it all for me as a fan of the game of basketball, and so I've always liked him. And then when I got into cards, it kind of just made sense. Like he's my favorite player. It seems like he's got a pretty decent market given his success. And this was very shortly after the Cavaliers championship when it was he kind of like cemented himself as like a top five at that point, coming back to Cleveland, that whole story. And so all of those combined just kind of got me excited to jump in and just start buying random stuff. Back then I was just buying like regular refractors. I liked anything shiny, coming from like a 90s kid. I liked all the shiny refractors, and then I started getting into like some of the rookies, like the SP Authentic out of 500. I bought one of those early on. Then I had an Ultimate collection at a 250. That's like his second best base set rookie autographed. And then it just sort of snowballs. You know how it goes from there. It's like you get bored of staying at that level and you want to just keep moving up. Um, and I've had people ask me like, you know, you mentioned like getting into LeBron collecting at this point. It's really hard for me to recommend that to somebody, just given the price points. It's like, yeah, just do what I did. Well, that's impossible because the stuff that I was buying in 2016, 2017, even into like early 2020 was a fraction of the price, that it is today. So it's just not reasonable to be like, hey, go build an amazing LeBron collection. You would need millions of dollars at this point. So it's
Have
tough.
you been able to continue to refine and improve your collection based on just the equity that you already had in LeBron? Have you used LeBron pieces to get better LeBron pieces? Has that been your strategy or something else?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, LeBron cards have been the best investment of my life. So it's been the most leverage I have to move up and continue to grow my collection using the equity in the cards. That's for sure the best way so far.
How would I know 2016 is a different period, and if for you having the conviction around the player and then buying the right cars, like a lot of stars align with the way the hobby is now. Do you think like the same opportunity is available today for someone maybe not LeBron, but somebody else to come in and replicate similarly a similar kind of path to what you did to build out your strategy, or just are those days done?
Um, I mean, you'd have to hit on like a prospect. That's really the only way, I think, which is tough because LeBron was not a prospect when I started collecting. It was really just a matter of, the market being in a different place and it being less popular than it is today. So I don't think it is possible. I feel like you need to be realistic, like you could build, I will say though that you could build an equally uh, good collection of a different player. It just might not necessarily be like a Michael Jordan or a LeBron or whoever. Like you've built you've built these collections for other players, Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, like you guys, you can do it. You can build them for really great players. It just might not be LeBron, MJ, Kobe, these types of guys. So I think it's mostly just like a level set of your expectations of what the player is. And then from there, just you had Chris on, he quickly had, gathered up the best Christian McCaffrey and Jokic collections in a very short amount of time. Those guys are, the best player in the NFL. I think McCaffrey was voted second or something, and he's like the number one fantasy guy, and Jokic is 3-time MVP. So like it's possible. It's definitely possible, but you just have to figure out what the player is.
We're gonna pull up your showcase here in Card Ladder. Somebody I know built this product and to be able to showcase their cards. So have you ever used Card Ladder before?
No, I heard it's good though. The showcase feature. That's an old feature. I built that a long time ago. I'm ready to look at it again.
I think I sent you guys a message after we did Chris's, but I'm like, I want everyone to have their cards in Card Ladder like this, because doing this content, it's like it makes the content a lot easier and streamlined. But before we show your cards, just I want you to maybe share like how you think about shrinking the sea of LeBron cards and focusing in on like the types of LeBron cards that we're about to see. Like what are those types of cards? Like how have you evolved over the years? Like what's your primary focus?
Yeah. I've always been a quality over quantity collector. I have like a pretty extensive Todd Gurley and Penny Hardaway binder collection, like raw cards. So I do enjoy some of the volume aspect of it, but with LeBron, I've kind of focused in on just continuing to up the quality and decrease the quantity. So I think I'm down to like 25 cards. I mean, you'll constantly see me selling stuff, and it's usually that is around a time where I'm zeroing in on buying a new one at the top or like near the top, and sort of just continually cycling out the bottom cards and moving up into better cards at the top. So that's been my strategy. As far as like which cards I'm selecting, I've narrowed in on the 2003 to 2009 Exquisite as being the cream of the crop for LeBron, and I'm trying to get most of like the rookies, focus on the rookies for those. But it's difficult, it's expensive. So I have sort of like picked off some of the non-rookies that I enjoy visually, and then the gold refractors from that same era. Those I'm focused on a lot less because they're like higher prints. They're a little bit easier to get. So I've moved out some of those bottom golds, but I do have like the three main gold rookies. So I am continuously trying to get like either a gold refractor or an exquisite like towards the rookie years as much as I can. I'd love to have some of the 101s. It's just not as feasible for LeBron as it is for other players, given the price. Like we were just talking about the logo man rookie 101 LeBron. I don't even want to like put it into the ether what that card costs in case I ever have a chance of getting it, but it's it's a multi-million-dollar card, so it's very difficult to get some of those top ones. So I'm kind of on that like second tier of like the super high-end rookies.
One thing that I've observed is I'm sure you have, maybe you haven't, but I've never seen you own a LeBron James Heat card, and I've never seen you own a LeBron James Lakers card. It's always just Cavs stuff. Is that by design based on the eras that you collect in?
I used to own a 2013 gold prism. And I've been tempted to jump into the gold prism market, but it's like I just can't have everything. That those cards are pretty expensive as well. I would have to give up something else, and I'm just not willing to do that. So I would love to have those gold prisms, especially the early ones and the Heat jerseys, but they're just a little bit out of reach given what I've already invested into. So, I mean, I also love like the Galactics, but same thing. I'd have to, there's so many at this point. I have to like really pivot to get all of those. And I think I just saw a gold prism like from a 2016 sell for like 20 grand. So it's like, arg, can't have it all.
This card, is this the one that gets stolen and talked about and no one gives you credit on?
Yeah, I think people just like assume that there's no way that that card is owned by the person who initially pulled it out of the vortex, but I do still own this card. It's the 1 of 50, the Goodwill LeBron.
I know you've shared this before, but like, what are the spark notes of that story?
Yes. So I was at a show in Chicago in 2019, and I heard a rumor that a couple had bought this card and they were like figuring out how to sell it, what to do with it. So I got in contact with them, and they basically got it. They won an auction on Goodwill's website, and it was like a $80 box of not, you couldn't really tell what it was. It was just like a box, but on the top it had like a '03 Beckett. So they thought, oh, maybe there's like some LeBron rookies in here. Let's just buy it. So they bought this $80 box from Goodwill, and they're going through it, and they find a box in the bottom of it that says good cards. There's like a little sticky note on it. It just says good cards. And they pull out a raw 1 of 50 gold refractor LeBron. They film themselves like going nuts, freaking out, And apparently, I think what happened was there was an older gentleman who had been collecting some of this stuff, and he might have actually pulled this, given that the other cards in the box didn't really line up with the value of this one. But I think he passed away, and his family unknowingly like didn't really know what it was, so they just like gave it to Goodwill, and so that was that.
Oh, wow. So was it for you to be able to, you getting the information that they had done it and then getting in contact and then getting on a plane, were you just like the first before everyone else, and that's why you ended up with the card? Is that?
I think people want to like make it out to that I snaked it from them somehow, but I actually like at the time I paid about what the card was worth. They had gotten an offer from a card shop around them, which was a bit lower of an offer than I made, and then I like upped my offer, and then they were worried about just completely selling out of the card. So I gave them a card and said like, hey, if you're worried about not being in the card market and exploding, like I'll offer you this LeBron rookie in trade and then half cash. And so I thought it was fair. I'd asked around. I offered to fly to them to make it easier so we didn't have to ship anything, and give them cash. Like I feel like I did as much as I could. So
Have you ever thought about upgrading this card?
I've thought about upgrading it to a 9, but then I'm sort of like in this world where I'm going from an 8 to a 9, or maybe a 10 would be nice, but then I'm giving up the 1 of 50 and the Goodwill just to get a grade. Like I guess I would probably value the story over the slight upgrade.
How do these other LeBron rookies like the Bowman gold, which
That's 1 of 50 as well, by the way.
this is 1 of 50 as well?
Yeah, click on the back scan.
Oh gosh. Look at that. Let me see this. I didn't even realize this one. Please don't tell me the finest is 1 of 50 as well.
I wish. 1 of 25. I wish.
Or yeah, 25. So how would you stack rank the in Chrome, Bowman, finest in terms of what you like?
I like the finest the best. That was always like my ultimate grail chase card, and I acquired it at the absolute peak of the hobby, so I paid a lot for that one. That's the most I ever paid for a card, is that one right there. But I ended up like selling a bunch of stuff at pretty high levels. Like I sold the 2013 Gold Prism LeBron to fund this one, so it worked out all right. But this is my favorite card, and then I would go the Topps Chrome and then the Bowman. I've never really loved the Bowman, but PSA 10, 1 of 50, like I just couldn't say no to that.
I've always just kind of had a liking to this card just because of the way he's standing there smiling, looking at the camera. It's almost like I've always think the thoughts running through his head's like, I'm about to show everybody. It's kind of what's been going on.
And you've got like the finest is like the photoshopped with like the design background. The Chrome is like an in-game photo.
Yes.
And the Bowman is like a photo shoot. So you've got like the 3 different kind of variations of it.
Well, with his other, I know you've got the Chrome run. With his other stuff, which one stands out to you? Like I know the Chalk Toss has become somewhat of an iconic card. Which image is your favorite out of kind of the rest?
Definitely the Chalk Toss. That's my favorite of the non-rookie golds. I do also like the 04. So that would be his second year Topps Chrome. Do you remember when the Superfractor of that one sold? The
Yes.
third one, though. Sorry, the third one. That's an 09.
This one?
The third one. Yeah,
Okay.
that one. The Superfractor of this sold for like 700 grand or something crazy during COVID. And that was one that I just was like, man, that'd be so awesome to own a Superfractor Topps Chrome. I don't have any. Bob has like all of them, so I'm screwed. But
Who
I love
who
the photo of this one. I love
who
the
ended up
design.
with that one? Do you
I have no
know?
idea, no clue.
Wow.
It wasn't Bob though.
Oh, that's incredible.
And
And
then
then
on the
do you want to talk about this one because it looks different than the rest and why you have this one?
I've just always liked it. I don't know. I just this is like my one exception card. I've had it for a while. It's a pop 3. It was a pop 2 when I had it. So they're pretty difficult to grade because of the black edges, So it's a pretty rare like card. I just like it. The photo is amazing. And there was no gold refractor from this year of Topps Chrome, which is like a huge travesty. And this is Kevin Durant's rookie year. I just like the photo and the design.
All
And
right.
then the '06 is a pretty big one. People like that. A lot of people like that one. Yeah. So this is because these are at a 25 instead of 50, and it has like the gold shiny surface. So these are in the photos obviously really cool. So I've had this one for a long time as well. I bought that one like it says 2020. Yeah, probably before that. I probably bought that in like 2019, 2018.
This one just feels like one that the most of the other ones, like when I think about LeBron Topps Chrome cards, they come to mind. This one, I don't know if it's just it's never been really put up for auction or whatever, but this one just seems more
Hmm.
scarce than the other ones.
Yeah, there are only 25 instead of 50. Well, the '04 there's 99. So like this one's 4 times as rare. But you're right, it doesn't sell as often. It's sold a few times in the last couple years. I think a PSA 7 sold and then a 9. So it has sold, but definitely less often than the other ones.
All right, let's move over to the or is there any you want to move over to the exquisite stuff?
2000, the 2005 gold has like always been one of my favorites. The bottom left, that one right
Uh,
there. I just like the photo. I graded that one myself. When I graded it, it was a pop 1. Now it's a pop 5 or something, annoying.
yeah, this photo is really cool. Is there a gold XFractor this year in basketball?
Yeah, that's why this one's not as popular. There's a gold XFractor out of 29, and there's like a regular XFractor. There's a black XFractor. Red. There's so many colors. Like they went nuts. There's
Is
like
is
literally
the
50 parallels.
is the gold XFractor something you would think about
I've
if it
had it.
were available? You've had
I've
it?
had it before. I just like the regular gold. That's something about like the basketball in the background with like the pure gold and without the XFractor. I just like it. I've always liked that card. I bought it for like $400 on eBay raw.
What?
Because I'm telling you, dude, in 2018 when I was buying this stuff, like nobody cared about non-rookies that are gold. Like nobody cared. It's just like this stuff was just sitting there. Nobody gave a crap. The rookie finest gold was sitting on eBay raw at like 18 grand forever. Like it was just always there. I could have just bought it for so many years, and then all of a sudden the hobby took off, and it was a $150,000 card. It's just I don't know. It just happened. These literally you could buy these cards like this on eBay for $500 whenever you wanted.
Oh, simpler times.
Simpler times.
Okay, let's you do where which one do you want to talk about first?
I mean, you can go to the gold RPA. I haven't really made this public, but I do own this card now, and I
Yeah,
got it. I
let
got it
me
reslabbed at National.
yeah, so everybody, I found out before we hit record that Josh owns this card, which I don't think you've shared with many people. You're sharing with everyone here, but maybe for most people are used to the seeing the out of 99. Maybe talk a little bit. I guess what's different about this? Why'd you want it? How'd you get it? That sort of thing.
Yeah. So everyone knows about the 99, which is like the true base set LeBron RPA rookie card, and which has spawned like all RPAs today. That was the first year. And so everyone that knows the 99 copies of like National Treasures, this was like the original. And so this copy here is the gold rookie patch parallel. So this is not the base set, this is a parallel. And these are numbered to the player's jersey number. So for LeBron, it's obviously 23. Dwayne Wade, these are out of 3. So that's like a pretty important card for set collectors. The Bosch is out of 4, the Melo's out of 15, etc. Um, when I first joined the hobby, this card was seen as like an equal to the 99. Even though it was more rare, people still put a lot of value into the base set 99. And then as the hobby sort of boomed, this one became a little bit more expensive. Maybe it's just like a product of less experienced people coming into the hobby and just sort of saying like, hey, this one's more rare. It's got to be worth more. And so that's just what happened. I've always liked this one better because aesthetically, I like the gold trim of the card. The like the upper deck logo is in gold. The Exquisite rookie patch font at the top is in gold, and the serial number is in gold, and then the base, that's all silver. So I just like that little aesthetic touch. The patches are not as good in the 23s. You'll find that the overall the 99s have much better patches, but on this one, I did upgrade patch and autograph for my 99, so I was really happy about the upgrade. And I like being an owner of something that's more rare. So I prefer the 23. It's these are a lot harder to get. And there's quite a few people I know that own these that have multiple copies that just, they're not going to get rid of them. So when they do come up for sale, it's usually like a white patch, one that's been passed around a lot, people that overpaid during the boom, and they're trying to cut their losses. So there's a few that float around, but there's not a lot. And then I got this, I bought it as a BGS 8 with a white label, the old BGS white label, and then I got it reslabbed while at National. So now it got a little visual upgrade, hopefully.
So how incredible card. I love the detail. When you got the opportunity to get this card, how important would you have like said no if although you said the patches aren't as good as out of the 99s, if it wasn't a patch you liked, or if the autograph was a little smudge? Like the auto looks great, and the patch I think is a decent patch, but like would that have been a deterrent if there was flaws in either of them?
Yes, big time. I'm super picky with the patch autos. And my 99 autograph wasn't like I had a 99, I sold it at the peak. Then I got back into another 99 about a year and a half ago. And then I traded that and some money for this upgrade. And the main reason I did it was not to move into the 23. It was because I wanted the upgrade on the autograph quality and the patch quality. Uh, so like it was important. That was the most important part. The autograph bothered me on the 99 just a bit. It was a little bit dark. It just wasn't my favorite. And this autograph is like about as good as you could do. So I was happy about that.
Was this a private deal or was this on the
Yes,
market?
private
Awesome.
trade, cash and trade.
Awesome card. Okay. You've
The
got
oh,
plenty.
the third one is like probably my favorite card right now. The third one, sorry, the one over. There you go. So this is the 2004 Exquisite Emblems of Endorsements, and they serial numbered these to 10, and this is the 1 of 10. So in the world of Exquisite, there's a lot to consider. There's a lot to consider in terms of like what are the most valuable and sought after, and there's usually a few factors that jump out first. It's usually the patch. Like most collectors are looking for like a quality patch. So this one has 3 color patches that stands out. Second is probably the autograph quality. This one has a nice blue auto. You're looking for like a brighter blue, more vibrant color. And then a lot of collectors really enjoy the vertical exquisites over the horizontals. So like the verticals usually stand out quite a bit. Another thing to consider is the subset, the parallels. So this one is the emblems of endorsement, or sorry, the insert. This is the emblems of endorsements. These are usually like the lowest serial numbered. So a lot of people like these. People really like limited logos because they have bigger patch windows. And so they're more focused on like the patches. So there's different things to consider. This one is generally considered one of the better ones because it's vertical. It has like nice patch windows. It's a second year, etc. And there's only 10 of them. So like you really like honestly never see this card come up for sale.
Um, would you say outside of this card specifically, out of the inserts in Exquisite, is Emblems of Endorsement your favorite, or is it one of the others?
Man, that's such a tough question. It's year to year, honestly. Like I don't really have like an overall favorite. I like that the emblems are lower serial numbered, so that does help. But I like visually the limited logos are pretty tough to beat. Like the the next row that you're on, the second, third, and fourth one are all limited logos, and you can just kind of tell like the patch windows are much bigger. and they stand out. The problem for me with limited logos is a lot of the years of those are out of 50. And like his second year, his 04 limited logos, he actually has two variations of it. One like a home jersey and one an away jersey, and there's 50 of each. So there's basically 100 of them. And then his rookie year is out of 75. So it's not as rare. But those 2 years right there, 2008 and 2009, are limited logos, but they're lower print numbers. So that one's out of 23. And then if you go to the 2009, see if you can see the serial number. It's hard to see.
Yeah.
It's
Is it 16?
Yeah. It's out of 16 because that was the last year of the license for Upper Deck before they lost it. And they sort of like had to scramble to put together the last few sets. And they're like, oh, we've only got enough jersey left to make 16. Sorry, I think MJ is out of 10. I want to say the MJ of that card is out of 10. And then if you go to like you scroll down and go to that 2009, that one right there, Noble Nameplates, that one's out of 18. Same reason.
I mean, value-wise, does it translate like the lower print run, the higher it is? Yeah.
And the other thing is they reuse designs from the rookie year. So you can see that the design from the 09 here is very similar to the 03 on the bottom left. It just has like a little bit of an updated
yeah.
to it. And same for the 09 number pieces on the bottom right. That one on the bottom, that one looks very similar to the rookie. So people really like 09 for two reasons. One, they're lower serial numbers because of what I explained, and then two, they're like refreshed redesigns of the rookie year, and they have a little bit more color to them, a little bit bigger patch windows. The photos are generally a little bit better. So me personally and other collectors really enjoy the 09 set. I think 09 Exquisite, like pound for pound, is my favorite set ever made. And this one here is the 1 of 23. I love this guy. Look at the autograph. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's absurd. Wow. But talk about this one.
The rookie.
Yes.
That one is one that I consolidated into kind of in the middle of the boom. I sold a few things, and like it came up for sale privately through PWCC Vault, and they're like, hey, we're looking, and I just was like, I just gotta go for it. The patch is insane, the autograph's insane, and it's a rookie Exquisite. Like these opportunities just don't come up. So when they do, I just try to move quickly and sell stuff as fast as I can and get it. And I think I turned that one around in like 3 days or something.
Jeez. Before we get off the page, is there any others that we haven't covered that you want to make sure we cover?
The one on the right there that you're closest to is pretty popular, but not very well known because it doesn't sell that often. I bought this one on a Card Hobby. I woke up at like 6 a.m. to bid on it because the auctions end at, Chinese time. So that one's really popular because those are out of 23 as well, I think. 25, sorry. I think it's out of 20. No, 23.
It says 23, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 14 out of 23. So again, like a lot of collectors from the Exquisite era are trying to like pick off those ones that are like randomly lower serial number than the others. So this is one that stands out.
I think a lot of people watching this and listening to this are probably like maybe overwhelmed by the consumption of all of these rare and scarce LeBron cards at once. I guess it is hard for anyone, like you mentioned up top, to go like, hey, I'm going to go do what Josh did over here. But like maybe to close it out for their player or just for the way others collect, like what, based on your experience building this, what is like a couple pieces of advice you'd give for anyone who's looking to do something similar to a player, build something similar with a player that they love?
Yeah. My biggest piece of advice would be not to like settle for a card. A lot of those that you saw that you went through took 8 years to be able to get to this point. So it was a lot of like saying no to specific copies that I know I wouldn't have enjoyed long term. And it may have been a decent decision to just like randomly buy stuff pre 2020, and then it worked out where I 5x'd it and sold it. Like that worked out, but I don't think you'd be able to get away with some of those anymore. So I would just say like be patient and wait for like the one that makes you really happy. Because it is a marathon. It's not a sprint collecting. You've got a lot of time on your hands. So like, for example, if you're a PSA 10 stickler, and you know, a 9 comes up and you're like, oh, I'll just get this. And that may be okay to hold you over, but eventually you're gonna want the 10. So like I usually just hold out for like what I really want. And if you don't and you want to buy something that you're not like super happy with, that's all right, because you could just sell it later and recoup the money and move it into the higher one. But in my experience, I've done better just being patient.
Awesome collection, Josh. Appreciate you walking through this. We'll have to I'll put something on my calendar, and we'll revisit this conversation, do it again in a year from now, and see what has changed and what is different. Maybe you'll have some gold prisms in there, maybe not, but that's what I'm hoping for.
I can't afford cards anymore, so if you can find a treasure that we split, then maybe my collection will be different next year.
I'm off. I'm going to work now. Thanks a lot, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Brett.
Thanks so much for tuning in to Stacking Slabs YouTube channel. If you like the collector conversations we're having here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn the alerts on, check out Stacking Slabs wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you want more exclusive content from Stacking Slabs, make sure you join that Patreon group. Thank you and take care.